All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for Haikyuu, episode 17. Dateko.
Yeah.
Versus Karasuno.
And
Go, let's go,
Dateko. But Karasuno is the one we're rooting for.
I know. I think Dateko, they're basically setting them up as the team that we kind of want Karasuno to beat the most. Because they've already beat Karasuno in the past, given that emotional damage to Asahi,
and they're the impossible wall that the Ravens must fly over.
Right, which means we're pretty confident they will fly over it. But I think this could be our first 2-episode match. That's what I'm going to predict here. I think it would be cool to show a match where you bring up a lot of the interpersonal conflicts between, say, Nishinoya and Asahi.
Yeah.
The resolve that these characters need to build up in order to, fly over said wall.
Because it's going to be a bitter struggle.
Right, but then they could also use a bit of time to introduce characters from Dateko and actually make us care a little bit more about their team.
Yeah,
rather than just from an antagonistic standpoint.
I think they'll probably do that a bit, but since they haven't really introduced them as people up till now...
Sure, this could be a very good single episode match, is what you're saying.
Or at the very least, I don't think it's going to go a full 2 episodes. Like, it might go into the next one.
Well, that's what I mean, is that it'll go a bit into the next one and it'll end on a cliffhanger here with Karasuno potentially on the losing side of things.
Sure, yeah, they could have it be one of those things where they just managed to scrape in that last set.
Or the second set, and now the sets are tied up,
and then
Karasuno is barely hanging on.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that could be pretty intense. I also feel like it's going to be fun, specifically to see how we can cut up the footage of maybe a entire episode being devoted to a game.
Yeah,
because there's so much motion and emotion that can be handled within the game setting to where. What we're actually showing you guys will be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, other than that, I'm really excited to watch it. So let's So let's get into it. All right. Okay.
Here it goes.
Let's play. Wait for that build up. Oh yeah! Yes! Us! Oh man, here we go.
Your coach's face is so angular and intimidating.
Yeah, alright.
Kick butt.
Be awesome. Yeah.
Tear down the iron wall. I love it.
Oh, they're starting off so confident.
Yeah.
Wait, what if he just tips it over? Oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna do that at the very beginning, though.
Whoa!
Gotcha.
Right. Wow. He's like jump serve time. Which is not where you want to send it. Oh yeah. They've been improving. Yep. Whoa. Alright, yes. Unstoppable force and immovable object. Alright. Oh. There they are again. Yep. And they defended it. Yep. They defended it, but it went out of bounds. So therefore, it's Karasuno's point because they last touched it before it went out of bounds. Exactly. Oh, good fake. Nice. Whoa, whoa. Right, chance ball doesn't count for a touch.
Is he gonna do the angled spike?
We'll see. Yep, he's gonna try it. Whoa! Rejected! No way! Yep. Right. Ione and the other guy.
Yeah.
On to the next, yep.
Yep.
絶対に決まる。えらい久々な気するな。お前の一番のジャンプ、一番のスピード。
Oh no, is this going to be something where it still doesn't work?
ボールは俺が持っていく。
Because they've got a freak setter. Yep.
変人速攻はどうして止められたと思う？
はい、伊能岡がすごかったから。
ああ、まあそれは大前提。
Yeah, sure. Okay.
猫間のミドルブロッカーが日向の動きに慣れたから。
Right.
だな、慣れだ。お前らの速攻は相当強力な武器だが。
So we want to use them when we've got them on the
重要なのは
back foot,
Right, and also be unpredictable with them.
Right.
Don't use them all the time.
Yep. Okay.
どんなに神経尖らしてもリードブロックじゃ追いつけねえよ。
They've been shaken. Oh my god.
青根を力ずくで振り切るためにあんな乱暴なトスを。
それにしてはスパイクが
But it wasn't random, was it?
Right.
たまたま打てたとしか。
No.
あの10番。
伊達公は混乱してるだろうな。あんな速攻世界中探したって見られるんじゃないからな。
Yeah, it is a little bit impossible. Wait.
他はいろいろと発展途上。
Wow. Oh no. Oh, good job, Suki.
Yeah.
今度は普通のトスだったな。
Yeah.
さっきのはまぐれか。それとも10番しか使えないのか。
Okay, we got a fight on our hands. Here we go.
Indeed.
Oh, here we go. Montage time.
カラスノの10番がまた前衛に上がってきたな。
来たか10番。
やたら速いトス。さっきの一本切りあげませんね。確
かにさっきのトスを見た瞬間、中学時代の悪癖が出たのだと思った。
Oh, there, that's almost a tie now.
Yeah.
ダテコも離されないな。
No.
カラスノの10番が前衛に来た
The
と
other
思
thing
った
that's
ら。
crazy about this is they've got all this stamina. Like,
yes.
this is not a, wrestling your
This
laurels
is
type game.
the very beginning of the game.
Right.
ここからそこは無理かな。誰にあげる？
That must have scared the crap
Kageyama!
Yeah.
Freaking Kageyama did it backwards!
Yep.
あの速攻が本物ならリードブロックでは追いつけそうもない。かといって放置すれば無抵抗で殴られ続けるようなも
So
の。
how do you counter?
10番からの攻撃の可能性がある時だけはトスじゃなく10番自体をマークする。トスをある程度予測したため。
Wow.
確かにあの速攻にはビビったけど、最初から使ってる普通の速攻だって気抜いたらかわされんぞ。
まあとりあえず10番を止めればいいって話で。
逆に言えば10番さえ止めちゃえばいいんだよな。
No.
目立ってんのあの10番だけだし、他は伊達公のブロックの方が勝ってる感じだし。
I don't know if that's gonna work. They're focusing too much energy on
Exactly. I mean, they are able to stop the others.
He's hearing it.
Yep.
Ah!
日向が光れば光るほど
Yep.
Yes!
Uh-huh.
相手のブロックは目がくらむのさ。
That's right.
Right. They have 4 weapons at least at any point on the
終
field.
わってたらどうすんだよ。
よかった。男子の2回戦まだ
Oh, good!
すごい。
And the girls' team.
They missed that crazy quick though.
Oh, did it again.
早えな。その調子だ。もう一本。ナイスタイプ。
菅原は出てないのか。
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Neither. It's Asahi.
Uh-huh.
Oh. This is the stalled jump. Yeah.
普通の速攻トスの速さを使い分けてるってこと？
くそ、なんなんだあの10番。
はいはいはい。飲まれない。
Yeah.
こっちの攻撃だってちゃんと決まってる。
That's true.
確かにあの10番にはびっくりしたけど、お前たちは今までいろんなスパイカーをねじ伏せてきた。
Oh, here we go.
エースもだ。
Yep. Oh. Oh, that's a block. Yep. Whoa, barbaric yaw. Yes, that was quite the barbaric yaw.
2回飛んだ。
He's quick too.
視野の狭くならない冷静さと
Oh.
絶対に止めるという執念
Wow. White hair and
もう合わせ
cool-headed.
持っているからこそのブロックだ
Whoa. Nice. Nishinoya, yeah. Yeah. Oh. The decoy. Yep.
But it's not going to Hinata.
Yep. 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 I see. Yes.
ネットの向こう側が
Oh, this is just incredible. I love it.
そうだ
Oh.
これだ
Woo! Yeah. Oh my gosh.
お前らすごいよありがとうな
Yes.
何言ってんすか。エースの前の道も切り開いてくれ。
Yeah.
どうした
今決めたの俺じゃないのにすごいゾクゾクした
Yeah. Right?
最強の囮もエースに劣らずかっこいいだろ
That's exactly. I love that. Yeah, that sly smile.
こっからが
Yeah.
正念場だぞ
Oh. Wow. What was that match? Oh my gosh. We got through like 2/3 of the first set and I'm already this hyped. What is this show? Okay.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah,
okay,
I love it.
So they are probably going to do 2 full episodes, if not maybe 3.
Potentially.
But I feel like they set everything up of, all our secret weapons are out in the open so that now they don't have to focus on each one as much. They can just show them like in quick succession,
See, that's where I think you're right in one area, but I also don't think this is going to be a 2-set match.
No,
I don't think we've seen other than was it Nekoma or was it Abujasai where it went 3 sets? Either way, Karasuno has rarely gone 3 sets in any of their matches. And I think this is the perfect one to have them go the full 3 sets where Dateko's defense begins to pull things back.
Right. Yes.
And Dateko is either going to beat them on this set or the next set. And that's where it's going to be an all-out, no-holds-barred, just crazy, intense, stamina-based match where they might have to take people off the field, off the court even, and switch them out with someone like, I don't know, Yamaguchi even or something.
Okay.
And like have people be like, no, you're tired. You need to step off the field for a bit.
Possibly.
And like Dateko just wearing them down, and it
that's
becomes
a good point.
A thing of basically like other people who have had their secret weapons developing, like Yamaguchi. Because I'm holding out on you, Yamaguchi. You were trying to practice that float surf.
Yes.
And I'm ready for when you actually use it, because that's going to be
awesome.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Now, that's a great point that you bring up the whole stamina match, because this isn't their first match of the day, it's their second.
Yep.
So some of them could definitely start getting tired.
And they brought that up in the previous episode where they're like, why did they go so hard even though they were obviously going to win?
Yeah.
They have a match, coming up later in the day.
Right.
And that could come into play here. I could see someone like...
hopefully not Kageyama.
Well, no, but I could see someone like one of the first years, like Hinata, for instance. He could get tired, potentially. I think he's the one that has the unlimited stamina.
Yeah, he has the boundless energy.
Like I could see maybe then Tanaka, or... Yeah, maybe Tanaka, or...
Possibly.
or possibly Daichi or something like that needing to step off. But
no,
Daichi's receiving skills are too strong, and Tanaka's kind of the good at everything generally, but not. Right. He's got a little bit more power than receiving, maybe. So I don't know. That's a tough thing. I feel like also Karasuno having to sub out a player might be the beginning of them starting to lose a little bit.
Right.
Where maybe in the second set, it's like, it's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, that would be a serious problem.
Yeah. I would also love to see some of the players that haven't gotten as much spotlight to get more spotlight. Like, I know Kageyama's a freak setter, and they can't really just sub him out simply.
Right.
But imagine if Kageyama gets injured or something.
He twists his ankle or something like that.
Yeah, and it's not that he's going to be out for the season, but it's like, well, you better put that on ice and sit down for a bit.
Sure.
Or you're going to be out for the whole season. And he's like, no, but I have a team. Like, nope, no ifs, ands, or buts. And then Suga has to come out, and it's kind of the same thing, passed before. If there's so many things that can shift the momentum, kind of, they were saying, of a whole match just by a block being defended in a perfect way.
Yeah.
So
I think Karasuno has the first set, like, they're not in the bag, but they're gonna win because they have enough momentum built up. It's it's far enough into it, but on the second set, that's where things could get rough.
Right.
Because they're not going to win in 2 sets.
I almost feel like if they do win in 2 sets, they're needlessly accelerating the pace of the show,
right?
Because they can show montages like they did in this one to accelerate past kind of the
so they don't have to show every
parts.
point.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like though this show is moving us more and more towards where eventually they will show a match with every single part of the match actually shown in the anime.
Yeah, I get.
Imagine how hype that would be if we had a really intense match against Aobajisai, or Nekoma again.
The last match of the preliminaries or something like that.
Yeah, who was the really long named team? Shira Torizawa. That's right. Yep. Those guys are probably even better than Aobajisai potentially.
Possibly, I think, because that was the place that Kageyama didn't get into, right?
And that was the one with the player that is like third best in the nation, as far as like high schoolers go,
and that
whoa, what? Like of all the prefectures and everything, he's like number 3. Wow, that's freakishly good.
That's ridiculous. So
he probably makes Kageyama look, kind of
standard
normal.
fare.
Yeah, it's like Kageyama. Whatever.
Right.
Especially if Kageyama couldn't get into this school. I think actually part of the reason that
he wasn't able to get into the school
is that Kageyama's a first year, and there's probably some experience of specific things that he's not as good at, even though Kageyama is kind of the OP character that we know of so far.
Yeah.
I like that they bring up the fact that Hinata is the one that looks like the freak of nature to the other teams.
But it's actually Kageyama.
And only Aobajisai is noticing that.
Right.
Because they have seen the quick, the lightning fast, impossible quick before.
Right.
But all the other teams who haven't seen it aren't able to kind of think rationally about it and try and dismantle Kageyama as opposed to dismantling number 10.
Right.
Which is what Nekoma did. And that was because of how Kenma approached the situation from a strategic perspective.
Right.
And did things that they wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
Like, we've only hit it twice and I'm not going to set it. I'm just going to tip it right over the net. Little things that rattled Karasuno. And to be fair, Karasuno wasn't a ready team at that point.
Because most of the time where Karasuno will lose is not because of their lack of strength on the offense, but because they don't have the defense to back it up.
Correct.
So
when Daichi slips up, on defense, that's when the whole team could potentially slip up because he's one of their best receivers.
Yeah.
Tsukishima wasn't a very good receiver against Aobajisai. Hinata is not a good receiver by any stretch of it.
Not at all.
Maybe when things get rebounded when Nishinoya is off the field. and
right,
and then they take it back, and then basically that would be a point where then the other team would then start to gain their momentum,
right,
by countering Karasuno's offense.
Yeah,
which I think that's where this next episode is going to be. Dateko is going to figure out a way to counter the offense by switching up their rotation. You know how they mentioned that their rotation hasn't really changed from their last match in March?
So in the second set, they'll probably change up the rotation
into a very clever way where they can actually do some damage.
Yeah, because I feel like the thing that will make Dateko scary, you know, with the whole iron wall thing, is not just that they're tall, not just that they're really good at defense, but it's that they adapt.
Yes.
So they'll basically even if they get surprised for a little bit, they'll figure out what they need to do to become the iron wall again. That's just a bit higher. That, you know, those old tactics.
And it might not be just the rotation. It might be actually how they move. Like I noticed number 7 did a couple things against Hinata to actually block him.
Right.
And most of those movements were things that he was picking up in the match based on the stuff that Hinata and Kageyama would do.
And where they left the episode was more of like the biggest problem for Dateko was the fact that Karasuno had so many different things they could do. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do we decide which one to counter?
Right. So now they can look at it a little bit more logically. Maybe they'll lose the set, and then in between the sets they'll have that little bit of time to go, all right, here's the new strategy. Here's what we'll do. And I could see either Hinata or Asahi, or potentially even Kageyama, getting a little bit rustled psychologically by their offense being shut down.
I think what's going to happen is that Hinata's basically going to, because of his awesome decoyness and everything, is going to win them the first set. But then in the second set, they're going to realize that, wait a minute, Hinata isn't actually the one we need to be worried about. If we can't predict all the different things that they'll be able to do, what we need to do is we need to focus Kageyama and figure out how to break him, get inside his head, whatever.
Or since they can't actually interact with the setter, what they can do more is figure out how to read Kageyama.
Exactly.
And this is a thing where I feel like Kageyama isn't good at, is that he is good at faking it based on how people look at the strikers, the people who are
but not by looking at him.
But by looking at him, you can give a call out. So say you have the middle blocker looking at Kageyama and calls out a specific thing, and then that moment, Kageyama could either try to outfake them and end up making a mistake, or he just has to commit to it even harder, and then his teammate makes a mistake because Kageyama's his set is too fast, or what have you.
Because the way that Kageyama has seemed to get past any obstacles, people reading him or whatever so far, is just being too fast for them. So that if they read him, they won't be able to respond before the freak quick comes in, right? But now that they've seen that, they might be able to start, defending the freak quick and reading Kageyama.
Yeah, and I think dedicating someone to Kageyama for the purpose of reading him
is a necessity.
Yeah, so what they could do is say, whoever is getting the... Well, actually, now that I think about it, this is something I've always wondered in volleyball, is they have the... Pardon me. They have the 3-on-3, kind of setup, right?
Right.
Why don't they ever bring a fourth person to the front when there's 4 attackers coming? If they're truly the iron wall... I am going to predict that they will, at some point in the next remaining bit of the match, they will bring a surprise fourth person from the back up to the front and create a truly iron wall of oh nope, surprise, boom, 4 people, and now it's truly unblockable. I mean,
I think
that might not work.
I think the reason
it's a little bit risky, but
I think the reason that most people don't do that is it might work in 1 or 2 situations, but then it's risky because then you have only 2 people in the back, and unless they're both Nishinoyas,
well, no one is Nishinoya.
Exactly.
Nishinoya is Nishinoya, and no one else is him.
Right.
So I get the feeling that yes, one of the things that we're forgetting is about the speed at which a volleyball is spiked.
Yeah,
and it's well over 100 miles an hour. I
well
will say
over 100
kilometers. Yeah. I think that the speed at which it's moving makes it so that if you're not already moving by the time the spiker is jumping and kind of preparing yourself for the angles at which, like kind of that cone of firing range, essentially.
Exactly.
And
then,
you're in that cone already, then you're not...
Yeah, then you're toast.
You can't receive it.
Right.
Which is why I think Nishinoya is
just
actually...
a freak of nature.
Well, yes, but I was going to say this is why Nishinoya is actually potentially better than Kageyama.
Possibly.
Because he's been around for 2 years.
Right.
And, I mean, I think he's a second year.
He's either a second year or a third year.
Well, the point is he's not a first year.
Right, he's not a first year.
And he's done this so much to where Kageyama can set things to the players that have to, spike them at that bit. But Nishinoya is receiving volleyballs coming at him at over 100 miles an hour.
Right. Kageyama is the OP attack, like offense player.
Right.
Nishinoya is the OP defense player.
And I would say it takes more skill
to be defense
than offense. Because okay, here's my experience playing volleyball. When I played volleyball, the thing I sucked at the most was receiving in a way to where the setter was actually
able to get the ball,
able to bring it to the spiker in a way that's effective. Basically, my receives would either end up being chance balls and I'd go over the other side, or they would never go like straight up and forward a little bit. They would always go back and to the left or back and to the right, or they would just go like off to the side in some way. Well, that's me standing up with it coming right here. Nishinoya is making dives and hitting it with one hand outstretched.
Hence why he's the guardian deity of Karasuno.
Exactly. Yeah. He is a god. Kageyama is a demigod and like a god in training. Like he's almost there. And that was the point, was that Kageyama can't do his serves yet perfectly. He can't do...
right, he's still getting better.
He can't do his blocking perfectly.
Yeah.
He has all the natural talent. But Nishinoya had min-maxed that one stat
fair enough,
over the top.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But we saw Kageyama do something...
Stupidly cool this episode. Like,
what even was that? Like, not...
Okay, yeah, he went to the back after a bad receive.
He went to the back after a bad receive, jumped like backwards and did a backwards set, but not just a regular set. They're lightning quick to Hinata, and he was able to score off of it. Like, what even is that? I get that Nishinoya has been doing this longer than Kageyama.
Right. Right, if I was just to put their stats next to each other, I would say I would want Kageyama on my team before I would want Nishinoya. But the thing is that whatever Kageyama's best stat, if we lined up that stat against Nishinoya's receiving stat, it's stupidly Nishinoya is a god. He's insane. Like, he is the top.
Let's
he is
figure
the
it out.
top of Karasuno. He is so good at that, one or two things.
Well, he's also rooted to the ground.
Yeah, that's the other reason. And he's short, and he's over the top, and got a good boisterous personality and stuff. Anyways, I love Nishinoya. I love Kageyama.
They're both fantastic.
But I loved the team dynamic of Karasuno getting hyped up into the game, because one of the things that I feel like what Haikyuu does is it keeps us grounded in the match of volleyball. Like, they don't pull it out to where this isn't a volleyball match anymore. Like, I don't know how to describe that, but
like in keeping things like at least semi-realistic for like what the players are doing and stuff, or
well, I don't really know how to describe it, but basically when you have say, let's say a fight, like a fight between two sword-wielding samurai or something.
Sure.
And the fight is going, and it's a good fight, but then suddenly they kind of pull the perspective out and they show the backstories of these characters.
Oh,
and they make it more about the story of these two behind them, instead of making it actually about the sword fight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, right.
This is where I think Haikyuu will pull you out every once in a while to remind you why they're doing things the way they're doing, but it's still so grounded in the match of volleyball that I'm actually getting excited about volleyball in addition to the story with these characters in it.
That reminds me of another ProZD video. But yes, because Haikyuu, they're not like, I feel like, yes, they're focusing on the volleyball match, but they're also not just focusing on it being a volleyball match, because they since they do such a good job of setting up the stakes, right? The personal stakes for these people, they don't have to do the thing of having backstory in the middle of it, because you already know going into it exactly what the stakes are. You know that you need Asahi to have that moment where he sees above the iron wall, because he hasn't done that, and it psyched him out so much, and it made him almost quit volleyball entirely.
Yeah, so, and they have little things like that peppered throughout the match.
Right. And
it feels so grounded that
Exactly, because every time they say, remind us of the iron wall, it's always from this perspective of the people playing the match right then and there.
Right.
They don't... Yeah. Right. So, yes, I completely agree. And the fact that Haikyuu does that is just amazing, and it's like, why aren't more stories, like, taking notes from them and focusing on the characters first and foremost, so that when they get to the matches, you know, or whatever the main conflict is, they don't need to restate any of it. They know exactly what's going on.
Right. Other than that, I'm really glad that they're finally getting to one of the important matches where they can slow it down. Because I really enjoy watching these boys play volleyball. But when they kind of do the time skip thing and suddenly there's only 3 points left, I kind of go, okay. There was some struggle that I missed, and it's like, I get it, it's not as important now. But I'm excited that now we're getting into those stories where, okay, this struggle is going to be a struggle.
Yeah, because I feel like before, the reason that they probably didn't show a lot of it is because the things that the teams were doing were largely the same, right?
Yeah.
They were just repeating the same things and, you know, trying to get that percentage of it working to not working, and then eventually they win or they lose, right?
But it's also a little bit more character introduction focused, and
you know. The games themselves weren't as important in the narrative. Whereas now, since, one, the games are way more important in the narrative, they kind of have to do that, but also since each side has different strategies that we can actually follow with and track with, and they can show the game taking a lot longer and have it not get samey and tedious, because the players are actually doing different things, so we don't actually know what's going to happen next, even though we know this is still just the first set. So
good stuff. I love it. Can't wait for more.
Yes.
All right, guys, if you want to watch the next episode reaction to Haikyuu, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access, which also comes with Discord access. You can chat with us about storytelling or what have you. And we'll see you all there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.